Alright, so this is the first time I'm going to be making something like this. Um, and right now I'm sick Jeremiah Monkey, so that's why I sound weird. But I just wanted to make like a quick guide for, old returning players or new players to help you understand a little bit what's going on with this weird MOBA. It's not the most balanced game, but if you look at a lot of the core mechanics and understand them better, which I'll try to help you understand them here, it'll help you get better at the game faster and understand what's going on in the game. Alright, first of all, let's talk champions. This is just a tier list I made kind of a while ago, I guess. Now, with the current state of the balance in the game, this tier list really is only a suggestion because up until the semi-recent backpack rework, there were very, very big gaps in between the good characters and the really bad characters. But with the way everything has been reworked, you can kind of play any character and get away with it if you use the right backpack and understand what you're doing. So I just want to put this here if you are a player who doesn't really care about, just fun and learning the game or whatever, and you just want to know just a quick summary of what characters are performing the best. Here's just a quick list of it, but again, I recommend just playing whoever you want and having fun and just learning the game. Alright, so every bag follows a pretty basic formula, as you can see in the picture, in the very pixelated picture. The first slot is AD, or attack damage, which refers to the damage of your basic attacks, which is what happens when you left click on someone and your character just does the little animation and either throws something at them or just does their melee attack depending on what champion you are. Now, power damage is the second slot. It's always power damage, or PD, is the damage that your powers do, or your abilities, like Finn's dash, his alt, stuff like that. And there are a lot of characters, which I'll show you after I'm done explaining the different items in the backpack, that can benefit from power damage. Armor is basically the opposite of AD. Every point of armor you have gives you 1% reduction to AD, up to a maximum 70%. Shields, opposite of power damage, same thing, 1-to-1 ratio, up to 70%. And the final slot is HP/utility. They're normally HP, but some of them you'll have like movement speed, stuff like that. And if you just follow all of these rules, you can kind of look at like, let me just open up the other picture. You can see here the tier list. You can kind of safely assume that like Fiona, Finn, Gunter, you'd assume that they'd be going AD. Same with like Rattle Balls, because he has a sword. So you would assume they would be AD, but he punches people. So, but then that's where it gets a little tricky, because some characters like Billy, Marceline, Lich, PB even, like you would think that or CB is another good example, you'd think they'd play in a certain way because CB has a lance, you'd be like, okay, he's a melee character, but actually he benefits from power damage, and you can build him hybrid, but I recommend just going straight power damage on him. And after you figure out all the champions and you know what they do, like tanks, DPS, hybrid, power damage, stuff like that, you can easily look at using this backpack formula that pretty much every backpack follows. You can understand which backpacks go to which characters, or what you should even be building on said backpacks. Alright, now let's hop into the basics of the game. So, very simple. Champion select screen. You just choose what champion you want, select what backpack you want, and you're good to go. Play someone that everyone will probably pick. Alright, so The map looks pretty simple. It's very tiny, which is good because I don't know if this game could handle another lane. But it's very simple. At the beginning of the game, you always come to the middle of the map to fight for this mid altar here. And this altar will give your whole team extra attack damage and ability power. As you can see here, the numbers will go up. See, they went up by 25% after I captured it. Make sure to always level up your backpack. You press B to open up your backpack. Click the plus to put a point in it. Don't do auto level. This may change in the future, but there's some really wacky stuff going on with auto level, and it'll just help you understand more if you just actually read your backpacks before hopping into a game. And you know to level up, like I was saying before. Finn has a sword. You can assume he's AD. He is AD. Now the jungle camps. Alright, another important thing about camps is, let's say you just died mid-fight. You know, something went terribly wrong. You all died. But you died first, so that means you respawn first. So you're coming over here, and you're like, oh, hey, look, the camps are here. Let me just do these camps. Don't do that, because the way XP in this game works is if a, you know, whether it be a minion or a jungle camp is defeated, so by killing it, any nearby ally also gets XP, the same amount of XP you would essentially. So always wait for your team, especially in the beginning, because XP is very, very important in the beginning. So even like a lot of people just rush it, but like if you die in the beginning, the respawn time is super short. So you can literally, like, a lot of times I'll see my teammate taking this camp here, and I can see myself like very close already on the map. So if they just waited like a couple seconds more, we all would have gotten the XP. But because, again, they died first, because they don't really know what they're doing. They rushed in, they died, whatever. So they died first, so the first one back. And they just take the camps, and then your 1/3 of your team gets the XP, but the other 2/3 miss out completely. It's especially problematic if it's someone like Marceline who can take a camp very, very quickly. Yeah, so just wait for your team, especially in the beginning. Always wait for your team to be at least near the camp before you start taking it. Or what you could do is you could attack the camp, but then don't finish it. Get them all low while you're waiting for your teammates to walk back, and then bring it kind of out like that. Whoops, I killed that. But I mean, at that time that I'd be hitting it, they would have already be here, and then it wouldn't matter. But yeah, that's something you could also do. You could leash it and just hit it a little bit, and kind of bring it over towards their spawn. But yeah, just remember that, and your team will be relatively the same level. Then they won't be under leveled, and you won't be over leveled, or your teammates won't be over leveled. So for the jungle camps, it depends which side you're on. If you're on the blue side, you'll have owls, which are these 3 iron owls here, and you'll have hug wolf. Now, if you're on the purple side, you'll have grass bear and gnomes. It's important to know the names, or at least where they are, so that you can make call outs, or when someone calls out, hey, can you go get owls or hug wolf, whatever, you know what that means. You can leave your lane or wherever you are and help them with hug wolf, or take it for your team to get more points. Another important thing to remember about jungle camps is that they spawn at 14:13. So if you check the timer, when it hits 14:13 in the beginning of the game, that's when you should be going to camps. And this is another important part about middle fight. After you win middle fight or lose middle fight, it determines what you should do next. If you win and your team's looking pretty good HP wise, you could probably get away with stealing your enemy's camps, or at least attempting to. But for example, if you win and your HP's low, or you lose and you just want to come back and do your camps, just don't play aggressive unless you have to, or you can, and just play it safe. Take your camps, help your team, and you'll be good. Another thing is jungle camps respawn about 40 seconds after taking them. So if you watch the timer, you don't even have to be near them to see when they spawn. So if you keep that timer going up there and keep watching and counting, you can take your camps very efficiently, and sometimes you can even steal your opponent's camps right when they spawn, and they won't know because they won't be paying attention to them. I'll show you these Cyclops tiers. You pick them up, and they will give you boosted regen. As you can see, I have 19 regen. Up until your HP gets full or you take damage, then it'll go back to normal. These Cyclops tiers spawn on the white circles with the red crosses on them. You can see there's 2 in each base and 1 on each side at the edges of the jungle over here. Now let's talk about the epic jungle monsters. You have Goo Monster, which he's pretty easy to take. When you hit him, he drops a slowing goo pile. It doesn't care who hit him. He will drop the pile and it can hit any enemy. So you can kind of use it to escape too. Like if you're being chased, you can go through the pile and dash away, whatever. Maybe they have to run through it. When you take him, you'll give your whole team a speed boost. He's pretty useful. He's kind of just like a passive side objective that no one really thinks about too much, but late game he's very useful because it can help you get around the map faster and make those pushes that you wouldn't be able to normally make. Now let's talk about Keoth. Keoth is a big red guy. So yeah, sometimes also referred to as the red guy. He's on the bottom of the map, as you can see. I'm on the bottom of the map with a mini map. And he's very important for your team because when you kill him, it'll heal your team. But it'll also give you a buff that gives you Vamp for both physical and magical damage, which basically Vamp means it heals you for a percentage of the damage you deal. And it also gives you crit chance for free. And it gives you 100 points. And basically having your whole team with steroids during fights in the late game can just easily end games. It's not impossible to beat someone with Keoth. It's a lot easier now because the crit damage has been reduced. But he's very important. If you kind of look at what your team's doing, make sure if you hear a noise. Let me demonstrate. You'll hear this noise that you'll hear. When you hear that noise, you can hear it anywhere in the map. That's how you know that Keoth is being taken. So if you're across the map and you hear that means to go to Keoth because either somebody on your team or the enemy is taking it. Now, you don't need to always go to Keoth because your team's taking it. They might be able to hand it on their own, or the enemies might, be taking it too fast where you leaving wouldn't do anything. But sometimes it's also beneficial to just not follow them because let's say the enemy decided to take a last minute Keoth. If you're playing a certain character that could take towers really easily, you could actually end the game very easily by ignoring Keoth and going to a lane instead and pushing and destroying their base. So just something to kind of gauge as you're playing the game, like, am I playing a character who can easily push a lane and end the game while the enemies are trying to take Keoth? Should I go help my team or stop the enemy? You kind of have to get a feel for it when you're playing it, and you'll pick it up pretty easily. Now let's talk about the other altars. That was mid altar you saw, gives your whole team an attack boost. These are side altars. You also sort of want to capture these sometimes, as they will give your whole team a defensive boost, which up until the recent changes wasn't a really big deal, but now defenses actually do something, and especially later in the game when you have a lot of defenses, they can multiply them by quite a bit. Alright, let's talk about the ping system. It's a very important system in the game. A lot of people don't realize what's going on, so you'll ping someone for something and they'll just ignore you because I guess they didn't realize you're pinging them. Probably because actually a lot of people use it just to spam ping and be toxic, but if used correctly, it can be very powerful. Like, let's say, you're the one taking jungle, you're playing a character who can do it very well, and your teammate is someone who can push lanes very well. Well, they come over and help you, and you're like, I don't want you to help me, because, I got the jungle covered. You can go push that lane so that we can get some pressure. So you just use the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keyboard, and you can right click on either on the screen or on the map to ping. So if I were doing that and someone were coming with me, I would tell them I'd ask for help top lane or bot lane to tell them to do that instead. Same thing about like if you're playing a roaming character and you get around a lot, you can ping you're on your way to go places, which is number 4. So your team knows what you're doing, where you're going, if they're going to get help, if they should stay in that lane, debate them. Same thing with Keoth. If you don't realize there's sound from Keoth, the big explosion going on down there, or Goo Monster, it's the same thing. Your teammates might be asking for help in these locations, and that's very easy to understand that those places are where you need help because someone's taking Kioth or someone's taking Goo Monster. Or sometimes, if you see, like, if your whole team's aware that someone's taking Kioth, but then someone pings like top lane or whatever, like, why are you pinging top lane? Well, it's because they want you to push the lane while they try to stop Kioth, so that even if they lose Kioth, they'll have pressure and probably take a tower or two, and putting the opponents in a really bad spot even after they take Kioth. So yeah, it's very important. Listen to pings. You can do your own pings too when you understand the game, which shouldn't be very hard because, again, this game is very simple. Like, after I've explained everything from the video so far, you can see the game isn't complicated. It's just a little weird in some situations, and there's different etiquette compared to other games. And I guess before I go, the announcer just reminded me that there is a time limit. You see this time limit up here? There's 15 minutes in a game. When that time limit runs out, whoever has the most score is the winner. So everything you do, whether it be killing minions, killing jungle camps, killing towers, killing epic jungle camps, killing players, taking altars, doing pretty much anything that would be good for your team gives you your whole team points. And if the time limit runs out, whoever has the most points wins. So sometimes it can be a better option, instead of trying to end the game, to just farm points so that your team can win when the time runs out. Alright, well, I think that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. If you did, I don't know. I'll probably send this to my mom. She'll probably be the one watching. She'll get the notification. She'll understand how to play the game better than you.